This is the manufacturer insert for MMR2, correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you go to the precaution section, I'm sorry, the adverse reaction section, I apologize, on page 6, what you'll find is that there was no clinical trial prior to licensure for MMR, correct?
What? I doubt very much that's the case.
You're not aware that are you aware that it is a grandfathered product?
I am not aware of this grandfathered. I was alive and well when the product was first licensed, and it was tested extensively before it was licensed. So to say that it hasn't been tested is absolute nonsense.
How come there is no clinical trial data in the manufacturer insert?
That is something that the FDA would have decided isn't necessary.
Are you willing to?
We're talking about a vaccine that's been given to millions of children, and I insist on this point, that measles is now a relatively rare disease in the United States because most children receive measles MMR vaccine. That, however, since 2000, because of children who have not been vaccinated, there have been 24 cases of measles encephalitis and 3 deaths caused by measles itself.
Dr. Plotkin, we'll get to that piece of this,
yeah.
But right now I'm trying to talk to you about the pre-licensure clinical safety.
And what I'm telling you is that millions of doses have been used of this vaccine.
I understand you,
and that there was pre-licensure trials,
okay,
which I am absolutely confident about.
Okay.
And you're talking about stuff that's in a package circular that the FDA has approved in full knowledge that safety and efficacy have been demonstrated.
So you're saying there were clinical trials before the MMR was licensed?
Absolutely.
Is that correct? Okay, and you can provide those?
You can find them in this book if you wish.
So you're saying you won't provide them?
Well, yes, I guess I am saying I won't provide them. If you want to take the trouble, read the book.
Okay, so sitting here today, when did can you tell me what year these clinical trials occurred?
Yes, they were done in the 1960s and mainly in the 1960s.
So you're claiming something happened, but you're not willing to provide any proof that it happened?
The proof is in the publications, which you can read.
Can you please turn to the page where it's in there? I'd like to note for the record that Dr. Plotkin has been reading from his notes as well as looking through a book entitled Plotkin Vaccines, 7th edition.
He wrote the book. Oh, he wrote the book and he can't even...
So on pages, let's see, between pages 592 and 600, including tables that show the antibody responses, proportion of children with fever and rash after measles vaccine, etc., and the numerous references which go with this chapter.
So are you saying that was a pre-licensure clinical trial?
Yes.
That you just read from?
Yes, but again, I insist that pre-licensure or post-licensure, the fact remains that the vaccine has been studied extensively over a period of 50 years.
I understand you want us to just take your word for it, but I prefer to rely on science, peer-reviewed publications.
That's
and
what you'll
clinical
find in
trials.
there.
And so, I understand that you're getting a little upset about me trying to ask for the data, but I'm just trying to get to the substance. The FDA it requires that clinical trials be on the insert. They're not here. Okay, so you're saying that this table, and let me take a look at it.
Stop. Go away.
This would have been post-licensure, not pre-licensure, and it doesn't indicate a placebo group, nor that it was. So this is not a clinical trial as far as I can tell. Can you point me to something that had a placebo group and was pre-licensure, please, sir?
I'm not sure of the placebo group. I would have to go back and look at the individual studies. But in terms of pre-licensure studies, I am absolutely certain that they were done when the rubella vaccine that I developed was incorporated into MMR. Obviously, clinical trials were done before licensure, and I'm absolutely certain about that.
Well, maybe they're not included because they didn't include a placebo group. So
they may not have included placebo groups.
So maybe they weren't deemed valid and enough to consider a clinical trial.
That's absolutely false, because you can certainly collect reactions in individuals who receive the vaccine, for example, fever and seizures and that sort of thing that happen immediately, and whether there's an effect on blood cells, etc. Those things were definitely done. I'm absolutely certain about that because I was there.
But there was no control group?
I don't remember there being a control group for the studies that I'm recalling.
So you're not aware of any trial that assessed safety in MMR with a control group, correct?
I cannot cite such a study offhand. I'd have to go back and look to see whether control groups were included.
Okay. We talked earlier that to assess safety, you need a randomized placebo-controlled study. And my understanding from looking at this insert is that no such study exists. You told me that it's in this chapter, and you assured me it's in there, but you're not citing to anything in there right now. So I'm happy to get a copy from you if you'd like to provide it after this deposition. Would you like to do that?
I will look.
Okay.